The strategy is basically anytime a customer asked me anything, didn't matter how small, how technical, I shot a video on it every single time. Give your free content that is so damn good, it's better than your competitors' paid content. And when you
Mm.
do that, you will make millions of dollars. If a customer asks you a question, that is content. If a customer tells you they have a problem, that is content. My first sale actually came off a LinkedIn post, and then that client immediately started skyrocketing off. They're still with me 6.5 years later. I signed a contract like day one off a LinkedIn post. And then within the first 90 days of building the agency, my monthly recurring revenue had hit $47,000. And I more than replaced the $200K salary in less than 90 days. And the YouTube content, the way I came about the strategy is basically anytime a customer asked me anything, didn't matter how small, how technical, I shot a video on it every single time. So somebody asked me, like, how do I increase my sales? How do I build a PPC campaign? How does SEO work on Amazon? Video after video. And it just stacked up. And the view counts in my first 2 years were super small, average video of 100 hits. But because I just kept at it and kept building it, when the pandemic hit, my content 5x'd at that point, just from everybody rushing to sell. And then the next glass barrier that I had to break through was thumbnails and click-through rate, and just trying to make sure people actually clicked on the videos to begin with. I went on the podcast circuit, that helped too, and just sharing all the content and bringing in live guests and doing live AMAs. And bottom line is this: I identified that customers wanted information. I then provided that information, and a lot of customers ended up buying things from me because they appreciated the information that I shared.
What you said there was so stacked with little trails and paths that we could go down asking questions. But I will say, just overall, like, YouTube has been one of the most impactful platforms for our business as well. Every time we have a sales call, and one of the questions we ask is, how did you find us? As soon as they say we found you on YouTube, we instantly know that, okay, this is almost a guaranteed sale. I can't think of an example of someone saying that where they haven't bought something from us.
So there might only be less than 1 million people in the United States that would care about anything I say. And of that 1 million people, maybe 50,000 are like true core audience. So these view counts, while they seem small compared to the viral hits of influencers on YouTube, they're quite large for my niche. And because I'm the number one in Amazon selling niche content, people come to me first for news. They come to me to understand, what's changing in the environment, what's happening. And that's been a very good thing for me.
That's awesome. And we really appreciate you sharing that with us. So just for clarity's sake, you heard or saw the views and the counts, how they went really slow for a while and then they ratcheted up. But revenue wise, like, what did that look like coming through for you? Because I know we've had videos that bomb. Like they get 20. I had just gotten off a sales call with someone. They said they found us on YouTube. I asked her what video. I found the video. It got 28 views. Guess what? Those 28 views made us $10,000. Doesn't necessarily directly correlate. If it's really targeted, it's your specific people are hitting it.
And that's when your ICP nails it, right? So that video that you put out, I know nothing about it, but I can make the safe assumption that you were the only person that talked about that specific issue, and they found you and realized you're the authority, therefore I need to work with you. That's what low view count videos do. So this next chart is the revenue question. So in 2018, April 2nd is when I started the agency, and I made, $361,000 in those first 8 months or so. And each year I tripled the business the first year, I doubled it the next couple of years. And right now I'm sitting at, a $20 million run rate ARR agency annually, over 400 clients, over 500 employees. But essentially, this is where the revenue generated. And I have a full case study for those that are interested in recreating this. If you add an agency or something at myguy.agency/case. But in here, essentially what got me to $1 million in run rate, I attribute it to warm outreach. But the content is what got me to $10 million. And that's, if you look at the quadrant here, and this is straight out of Alex Hormozi's, like, how to generate leads, this content quad in the bottom left is the most scalable, cheapest, and fastest way to grow a company, bar none. You could spend a lot of money on paid ads, but the acquisition models and the PPC costs, they just skyrocket fast. Is it quick? Yes, but it's very expensive. Cold outreach, very difficult to build a sales team. That's what got me to 20 mil in terms of my attribution. But today, still 55% of my sales are coming from YouTube. But if we flash back 3 years, 2021, it was 100% coming out of YouTube. So this is like the numbers and what happened and the history. But every time that I would get on a sales call, when I was doing the sales calls myself, people would say, hey, I watched 20 of your videos. Thank you for everything you do. I'm just such a fan. And it was just video conference after call. I get the same message. I eventually hired my dad to help out with sales. I couldn't keep up with it. And my dad, he gets on the calls and then he gets to hear all day long, wow, you must be such a proud father. Your son is helping so much. We're such big fans. And that was the sales process. And that was magical by itself. Fast forward, now I've got a team of 30 people. They still get the same general message. We saw your content on YouTube. It helped us solve a problem. Now I'm hoping you grow our sales. And that story is really the nutshell of the Cinderella ball, right? And Amazon is a complicated beast. It's very difficult to sell on the platform. It's absolutely worth doing. I'm biased to say that with my Amazon guy in the name. But by making video content, people had a chance to try before they bought. They had a chance to understand the value before they paid me a dime. And if you look at the statistics, let's say that, I've had 250,000 unique people look at my content. I only need 1% of that to buy anything, to have a legitimate business. So if you think about that, for every 100 hits you get from 100 unique people, if one person bought something from you, it's worth building out that content. I really do think that conversion rate reflects.
How do you go about deciding the subject of your videos? And then also, how many times or how often are you making those videos?
It's not hard for us to come up with that amount of content. Because we operate $1.2 billion in annual revenue on Amazon, the amount of things that come across our plate, it's like a newsroom in my Slack. I've got 550 employees just chattering in all these Slack channels. So for me to come up with a topic, I literally just have to put my ear in Slack for 5 minutes and I have 7 topics ready to go. Hey, I saw this account get suspended, or hey, this particular product, I can't adjust the title, it's getting stuck, or there's all kinds of catalog troubleshooting issues. So as a buyer, Amazon is fantastic. These magical brown boxes with smiley faces show up at my house every day. But as a seller, it's a super frustrating process. People want to choke Jeff Bezos. They see Amazon as an 800-pound gorilla that they have to go wrestle with every day. And so our job as an agency is to really be that in between, hey, we'll take care of it for you. We'll go hit our head against the brick wall until we figure out how to bust down the policies that Amazon's come up with this year. And so at the end of the day, if you're listening to this and you don't have 500 employees to put your head to the ground and the business, here's what I would do if I were you. Anytime I could list down a problem that my customers have, I would shoot 10 pieces of content around the core problems and shoot 1 piece of content around the isolated problems. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment with your thoughts on questions. See you in our next video.